This video is brought to you by Squarespace. What if I told you that speaking better in any language isn't about memorizing thousands of words or endless grammar rules? The secret is keeping in mind a few often overlooked techniques. In this video, I'm sharing 5 great tips to elevate your speaking skills. You don't need hours of practice, just a smarter approach. Let's dive into tip number 1, focusing on pronunciation first. You guys always ask me in the comments how I worked on my American accent. And the reality is very simple, a lot of discipline, but also really focusing on my pronunciation. Because I was exactly like you. I didn't know all of these techniques and rules. I was going to school, I was learning English there. We were focusing on grammar drills, on memorizing a lot of random vocabulary. And when I went to college, I decided to focus on my pronunciation in English, as if it was my day 1 with English. I started learning the alphabet again, but not just memorizing it like a song, you know, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, what I was doing, I was making sure that I knew how to pronounce all the sounds, you know, all the sounds that letters make in words. Because sometimes the letter C is pronounced as S. Sometimes it's pronounced as K, like in the word cake. And I was also making sure that I wasn't letting Russian, my native language, interfere with this process, because in Russian we don't have the sound the or the. And so that's why a lot of Russians usually use the sound S, like instead of saying think, they might say sink. And so I was really teaching myself all of these new sounds, all of these sounds that my mouth, my tongue weren't really used to. And I'm a nerd, so for me, doing all of those pronunciation drills wasn't boring at all. But if it is boring for you, one of the things that you can do is listen a lot. When you listen to the speech, for example, the sounds of English, you are going to pick up on all of those sounds. You notice a sound, you try to repeat it, maybe you watch some YouTube videos about the sound. This is the active approach to language learning. Because yes, some of the sounds are going to be difficult, and it just means that you need to focus on them more and more. Spend more time practicing this sound. The second tip to speak better in any language is to practice minimal pairs. So what is a minimal pair? Let's look at these 2 words, sheep and ship. In English, these 2 words form a minimal pair because these sounds are very similar, and a lot of non-native English speakers make mistakes here. Instead of sheep, they say ship. Instead of ship, they say sheep. And practicing these words is so important. To highlight the importance of minimal pairs, I'm going to share a story that happened to me recently. So I met up with my friends, a couple. The girl is Russian, the guy is American, and the girl was trying to say a sentence and use the word thick. But instead of saying the word thick, she was saying thick. Just because in Russian we don't really have this sound, like thick. It was really hard for me at the beginning to learn how to pronounce this word correctly as a native Russian speaker. And so basically she was talking to her American boyfriend and she said the word thick instead of thick, and he didn't understand her. He was like, what are you trying to say? And then she turned to me and she was like, what am I doing wrong? I'm trying to say this word, thick. And so yeah, this example just highlights the importance of pronunciation, because once you learn all of these rules, the minimal pairs, the basic pronunciation, it will help you speak better in any language. It will help you have fewer and fewer of those situations when somebody is not understanding you because you're pronouncing a word wrong. Now that we've talked about the power of mastering minimal pairs to improve your language skills, let's take this idea of precision and clarity into another area of life, your online presence. Just like a well-pronounced word can make all the difference in communication, having a professional and polished website is key to making a strong impression in today's world. That's where today's sponsor, Squarespace, comes in. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build your online presence. Whether you're starting a blog, showcasing your portfolio, or even selling products. One of the things I love about Squarespace is how incredibly easy it is to use, even if you're not tech savvy. You don't need to be a coding expert to have a professional website website up and running in no time. Let me show you how I've been using it to create my own website. The first feature that I love is their design intelligence. This feature takes their 2 decades of design experience and integrates it with cutting-edge AI to help you create a unique, visually stunning website without the hassle. It adapts to your preferences, ensuring that your site looks both personalized and professional. The second feature is equity scheduling. This integrated tool helps you offer consultations and services, which makes it super easy to manage appointments and even accept payments, all from your website. And finally, let's talk about their email campaigns. Squarespace offers tools for running email campaigns to keep your subscribers engaged and drive more traffic to your content. If you're ready to take your passion project to the next level, head to squarespace.com/Veronika to start your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the code Veronika for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Now, I prepared a little sneaky tip for you because I don't see a lot of people talking about it. And that is all about learning fillers and connectors. You know, and, but, so, well. These are all examples. I know some people don't like them, but they really help us sound more natural and maintain this flow of conversation. And the reason why I decided to include this point in today's video is if you know how to use all of the fillers and connectors really well in the language you're learning, it means that you have internalized the language well. Because usually when we speak a foreign language and we don't know what to say, we don't use fillers in this foreign language. We use fillers in our native language because it feels more natural to us. Let me give you an example. I'm Russian, so when I don't know what to say, my natural reaction is to say "nu" if I need to think. And it's actually something that I've noticed my friends do, like my Russian friends, when they speak English. "Nu" kind of means well, or you know, when you need to think. This is just what we say in Russian. "Nu." It shows that maybe, you know, your natural response is obviously to use your native language, and it's completely normal. Like even the way people say is different in different languages. In English, people would say Okay, but in Spanish, people will make the sound a little bit different. I've noticed that here in Mexico, people say something like it's different. All of these sounds are so similar, but they're also so different. The next thing you can try doing if you want to speak better in any language is shadowing native speakers. I talk about shadowing all the time because it's something that I've used, it's something that I am still using in English and especially in Spanish. And every single time I practice shadowing, I notice my speaking skills improve. So the way shadowing works is you mimic native speakers right after hearing them speak. You're trying to copy everything, their rhythm, their intonation, their pronunciation. Obviously, at the very beginning, it's going to be very hard because native speakers tend to kind of like mush words together. With time, you will learn all of these rules and you're gonna start mushing words together yourself. And guys, this tip is not just something that, you know, I like to do. It is one of the most effective, science-backed techniques to help you improve your intonation, your pronunciation, your accent in any foreign language. Because when you repeat phrases immediately after hearing them, you are training your mouth, your tongue to get used to unfamiliar sounds. Because obviously, when you're learning a foreign language, all of these sounds are different. All of these sounds are unfamiliar. And when you mimic sounds, it helps your brain create new neural pathways that solidify accurate pronunciation. Every single language has its unique music or rhythm, and when you're practicing shadowing, you're learning this music of the language. You're practicing the flow of speech, pauses, rhythm, intonation, and eventually it helps you sound more like a native speaker. And on my channel, I always say that knowing words and speaking them fluently are two completely different things, and shadowing helps you bridge the gap between knowing a word, memorizing it, and knowing the correct pronunciation, speaking it fluently. And so by mimicking the sounds, rhythm, and intonation of native speakers, you don't just learn a language, you embody it. And finally, I thought that I absolutely had to mention this tip. I think that slowing down when you speak, not rushing, not trying to sound like blah, 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 will help you speak better in any language. Because I get it, I know where it's coming from. You hear someone online, or maybe you look at a native speaker and they speak very fast. And so you think that to sound sound fluent, you have to speak so freaking fast. If you first focus on fluency, on, pronouncing all the words correctly, you focus on learning the grammar, slowly and surely you start, picking up the pace. Obviously, eventually you are going to speak English way faster. Even my YouTube videos from like 3 years ago, the way I was speaking English was different from the way I speak English now. Maybe right now I can speak English faster, but for me, it's so much more. It's not just about the speed. I feel more confident now when I speak English compared to my English 3 years ago. But if you watch my videos from that time, you will definitely see a huge difference because I've been practicing English consistently with enough discipline, and also this is how I'm now seeing all of this progress. So I think it's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure to check out Squarespace by clicking my link in the description and use my code Veronika for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Today I mentioned some of the language learning tips I learned from polyglots, and if you want to know more of their secrets, polyglot secrets, you can check out this video right here. Just click right here and keep on watching.